You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Being Real, Part 1. Or being authentic is another way of putting it. Being genuine. Being real is something that I've noticed over the years that people detect. We have this antennae that susses out the other person, particularly when two people meet who don't know each other that well. That seems to be the top thing that people do is this person genuine? Is there a future in this relationship? And that may well be when a man and a woman meet together to see if they've got a future. They're seeing whether there can be trust that can grow between them. And because God is real and authentic and trustworthy, in a sense, because we're made in His image, we're looking for those qualities in someone else. And I recall Les Miserables in the final song that Valjean sang in the musical. He described it very well. He said, when you love another person, you see the face of God. And likewise, when you display genuineness, you're saying you can trust me, because it's displaying one of the godlike virtues, trustworthiness, to another person. Jesus addressed this subject at length when he talked to his disciples. And I'm going to read from Matthew chapter 6 in the Message, because it so aptly describes what we're talking about. He says, be especially careful when you are trying to be good, or showing merciful deeds, that means, so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theatre, but the God who made you won't be applauding. When you do something for someone else, don't call attention to yourself. You've seen them in action, I'm sure. Play actors, I call them. Treating prayer meeting and street corner alike as a stage. Acting compassionate as long as someone is watching. Playing to the crowds. They get applause, true, but that's all they get. When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks. Just do it quietly and unobtrusively. That is the way your God, who conceived you in love, working behind the scenes, helps you out. And when you come before God, this is verse 5, don't turn that into a theatrical production either. All these people making a regular show out of their prayers, hoping for stardom. Do you think God sits in a box seat? Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you'll begin to sense His grace. And then he talks about fasting in verse 16. When you practice some appetite-denying discipline to better concentrate on God, don't make a production out of it. It might turn you into a small-time celebrity, but it certainly won't make you a saint. I love it. And so what Jesus is doing or saying here speaks directly into all these desires that we have to seek to promote ourselves, to pump ourselves up by parading and grandstanding in front of others. He addresses the worst kind, actually, those things that are done in God's name. And so with all of us, there is this image battle. All throughout our lives, we're going through this constant image type battle about what others think of us. We display outwardly what we want people to see, to believe about us and think of us. We can all fall into that trap. To give you an example, I go fishing here off Papamoa Beach and catch snapper mostly. And often I take photos of what I catch and put it on social media. And people like it and whatever else. It's a wee bit of a show-off thing, I suppose. But sometimes when I'm talking to people, I say, look, I put on sometimes the successes of my fishing expeditions. I never advertise the fact that sometimes I go out and don't catch anything, hooks a bear, or I get into trouble crossing over someone else's Kentucky, or I get weed all over my line and have disasters. I never tell anyone that. So what can happen is an image is created of Ralph's fishing. It's almost as though I've got the Midas touch. Now, I don't deliberately try and skew it this way, but that's the way that image can be portrayed. We create, and social media is rife with image making. Keep listening. God bless you.